Hi, welcome back. This week I have an essay for you to read that I think you'll find very interesting. It was written by a philosophy professor by the name of Daniel Dennett. Now, Daniel teaches at Tufts University, which is a private college just outside of Boston, and the school is one of the country's leading universities in science, research, and engineering. Daniel's been writing books for the last 40 years on the subject of psychology and how the brain works. I like his writing because it's very accessible, meaning that it's not technical. His essays are written in a way that anyone can understand what he's talking about. The essay is called How to Make Mistakes, and that title pretty much explains what the essay is about. Now, Daniel is claiming that making mistakes is a good thing. It's a healthy way to learn and a great way to improve your cognitive skills. So give it a read and let me know what you think. With the chapter assignment this week, we're going to continue studying different styles of paragraphs. Now, if you recall, we started with the narrative paragraph, which is all about telling a story that has a sequence of events. Then we moved on to the descriptive paragraph, which is all about describing something using the four senses of sight, sound, smell, and touch. Now, for this week, we're going to look at a different kind of paragraph called an illustration paragraph. An illustration paragraph starts with a general statement or claim about something and then follows with several additional sentences that provide examples of why the author believes that statement is true. Now, a really good example of this type of writing is in the essay I had you read last week by Sherry Turkle. If you recall her essay, she was making a lot of general statements and claims about using cell phones and texting. For example, in one paragraph, she writes, "When we communicate on our digital devices, we learn different habits." Now, that's a general statement, but a paragraph that starts with a general statement needs to include some sentences that give examples of why the author believes that statement is true. And Sherry does a nice job of that by following her general statement with specific examples of what she's talking about. We start to expect faster answers. We ask one another simpler questions. We dumb down our communications. Now, an illustration paragraph doesn't always need to be about some heady intellectual topic. Here's a more simple example of general statements followed by some specific examples. My favorite season is fall. I like the cooler temperatures. I like to see leaves change color. I like to start new classes. I like football games. Or, college can be a challenge. Assignments can be difficult, hard to balance school and work. It's a long-term investment, getting to class in bad weather. Or, pollution is destroying the earth. Radioactive waste in soil, greenhouse gases in atmosphere, plastics degrade very slowly, pesticides in the water supply. Now, keep in mind that when you start working on your illustration paragraph, the specific examples you jot down don't necessarily need to be complete sentences at this point. Later, when you edit your paragraph and you start adding some transitions between examples, you can then rework the examples to be complete sentences. Just like last week, I've included a worksheet for you to put together your own illustration paragraph, along with an example that you can use as a guide. The writing workshop for this week is all about avoiding sentence fragments in your writing. Remember that a complete sentence includes both a subject and a verb. Now, what can happen, especially when we're writing kind of fast and furiously, is that we sometimes leave out the subject, or we leave out the verb, or we leave out both the subject and the verb. For example, we might say, "Can't study with the television on," which is missing a subject like Steve or he or I. Or Steve and Kathy late again, which is missing a verb like are or will be. Or quick thinking, which is missing both a subject like Steve and a verb like was. Now, sentence fragments are fine for informal conversation in emails and texting, but for college writing assignments, they're not. So take a look at Chapter 6 and you'll find some other examples of sentence fragments along with some tips for how to fix them. Once you have an idea of what sentence fragments are all about, come back and complete the writing workshop exercise in this module. Well, that's it for this week. I hope you like the Daniel Dennett essay, and I hope it will inspire you to be a little more daring in life, take more chances, and not worry so much about making mistakes. As Daniel says in his essay, savor your mistakes and delight in uncovering the strange quirks that lead you astray. Take care, and I'll see you next time.